Hey, welcome to a Motivation Monday. There are no do-overs. With live video, with performing on stage, in so many situations in real life, on a sales call, when you get to talk to somebody new, a potential client for the first time, there are no do-overs. It's terrifying and it is awesome. And I know that it's one thing that might be stopping you from using Facebook Live. So first of all, I want to know, can you hear me? We are back from a little bit of a break, and I want to make sure that you hear me so that all of this goodness comes at you. Today, I am going to give you 3 huge tips that will help you to be able to recover when things go wrong. There's been a lot of talk out there on the internet about somewhat of a little bit of a disaster that you may have seen happen on stage with Mariah Carey. Oh my gosh. We're going to talk about it today. And rather than going to the place of what a diva, she threw a little fit on stage, which is what I keep hearing from a lot of people, that she was unprofessional, blah, 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 blah. Instead of doing all of that, we are going to use what happened to poor Mariah on stage on New Year's Eve, and we're going to reconstruct that. I'm going to give you 3 ways that you can count on, 3 things that you can count on so that you will be a truly prepared performer when it comes to doing Facebook Live, when it comes to speaking on stage, all kinds of things. So please, if you can hear me, come below. I love your questions, your comments, your likes, your hearts, all of that. I love that Facebook allows us to have this amazing connected community. If I don't know you yet, my name is Molly Mahoney, and I am a camera confidence coach. I took loads of years of experience on stage, which we're going to talk a little bit about today. And I've applied all of that crazy awesomeness. Hey, Sandy, thank you. Applied all of that crazy awesomeness to Facebook Live. And it's such fun to be able to bring these tips to you and then give you some tech tips and all that kind of stuff so that you can really unlock your inner awesome and elevate it, get the goodness of your business out to the world using Facebook Live. All right. Yay, Sandy, thank you. Okay, so boom, right away. You guys, what the heck happened New Year's Eve? Hey, Maribeth, hi. Mary Beth, I don't know why I keep calling you Maribeth. Hi. Oh my gosh, we're starting the camera confidence course today, and I'm so excited in just a little bit. Okay, let's get to this though. Quick. So there were some things that happened. No one really knows the whole entire story, but what we witnessed on New Year's Eve, if you saw the video, you saw it live, was Mariah Carey was standing on stage performing a song and ran into some technical difficulties. And what it looked like from the audience's point of view is that she a lot of people are saying that she kind of had a little diva fit, that she freaked out, that she didn't handle herself very well. It looked like maybe she was supposed to be lip syncing. There's all these like negative things that came out of it. But my initial reaction was like, oh no, I've been there. I know there are so many things that go into putting a performance together. There are so many things that go into, for you, putting these live videos together. All kinds of tech things can go wrong at all times. I've had insane things happen in really high stakes situations like that. And I've definitely taken the route of not the right path, but for the most part, I've used these tips that I'm going to give you today to be able to use those moments when things go totally crazy wrong for the betterment of your career, right? To actually elevate what you have to offer. So I'm going to get into it really quickly. Did anybody actually see it? Did you guys see the whole thing? I felt so bad for her. And I also was like, oh, girlfriend, there's some things you could do differently to make this work in your favor instead of having everyone write bad things about you. But I mean, really, the bottom line is that she's getting a lot of press now, so maybe she can use that. I don't know. Okay, first things first. As we said, there are a million things happening when you're going live on camera, when you're going live on stage, and you can't just start over. It's not possible. There's an audience there. I mean, I could say, hey guys, we're starting and stopping over, but that'd be kind of weird, especially since I'm teaching you how to use Facebook Live, right? But really, the thing that is most important at the core of being a prepared performer, obviously you need to have your material straight. You need to know what you're going to talk about. There's like loads of stuff like that. But the most important thing out of all of it is that you are clear about your brand values. Being clear about your brand values and putting them out there to the world will help your audience and help you to know how to handle a situation like that. So for me, my brand values are all about joy and goofiness and kind of, being spontaneous. So when something goes wrong, it makes it easier for me to be able to handle it because I can instantly go into making it a joke, making it a teaching moment. For me, it's pretty easy because I've worked really hard to establish those clear brand values. Now, some of you might not want to be quite as goofy as I am, but if you're clear in your brand values, it will help you to determine the way to handle those crazy moments when things go wrong. And for Mariah Carey, I mean, maybe in the way that she handled in the aftermath, with the way that her funny tweet that she posted, like stuff happens and, you just got to go with it. I've seen a lot of people posting like, my goal for 2017 is to just not give a poop about, using different language, but, not care when things go wrong and just keep moving forward. Like that's helped her establish brand values in that sense. But the way that she we're going to get to the next tip is going to be helpful. There wasn't like a clear way to handle something going wrong. And with all of the performances that she's done, guaranteed this is not the first time something has gone wrong. So if she had really connected with her brand values and taken that as an opportunity to even share exactly how she handles when things go wrong, it would have allowed the audience to be in a place of connecting with her rather than being like, oh, girlfriend, what's going on here? Rather than having all this attack on her. If she had really been true to her core values and what she stands for as a performer, it would have been really helpful. Can you see that? Can you see how that would be helpful? Sandy says Mariah should have been prepared for an oops, especially as an experienced performer. Yeah, but the thing is, what I've noticed is that a lot of performers prepare by learning their material, by all that kind of stuff. And honestly, a lot of people have said about her that, the dancers kept going, but even though we don't know what actually happened, if she couldn't hear the notes, like the actual key center of where she was, it could have been really bad. And last year on the New Year's Eve performance, I don't know if you guys saw that one, but that performance last year was not good either. And that was a whole different way of preparing, because last year, the singer who sang last year just like cracked and sounded out of key and horrible. So that was a whole nother way of not preparing. So, so getting clear about her brand values so that when something goes wrong, whether it's a technical issue or not, would be super helpful. The second tip is it's not about you. And what I noticed happening to her when all of that stuff went wrong was like, it looked literally as if she was like, oh my gosh, she went into like total embarrassment mode. And then instead of being open and remembering that there were thousands of bajillions of people watching her, and that's really who the show was about, it looked to me like she actually just went into a place of, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm standing on stage and this is happening to me. And then that's where your defensiveness comes out. So I've been in that place before where some stuff has happened and I'm like, I react instead of just being honest about the problems that have gone wrong. I've reacted in a really defensive, kind of almost bratty way, but it's really because there's fear in there. And it's because you're going into almost like a fight or flight mode, right? She should have just walked off the stage, but instead she like fought it by kind of putting in these little almost things that seemed almost bratty. But really, I think that was because she was like, oh my gosh, how is this happening to me? How am I standing on stage in this costume in front of all these people and this stuff is going wrong? But instead, hey, Valerie, hi. Instead, shifting that, and when something goes wrong, because now, like, you guys, I have had moments where my top has completely ripped open during an audition for a Broadway show, full on, bare-chested, naked to the whole room. Long story that I'll tell you about later. I've had moments where my selfie stick fell out of my phone and landed directly between my legs, shooting up my skirt while I was doing a live video. What? I've also had moments I fell off a stage once and landed in someone's lap, like literally in an elderly man's lap with my hands on his knees, like, oh my gosh, because I fell off the stage. I've been in places where things have gone wrong. Things on here, like the sound issues, tech issues. My last masterclass that I did in October, we had all kinds of crazy stuff in the beginning. And if I had stayed in a place of like, oh no, this makes me look unprofessional because these tech things are going wrong, it would have made me look even more unprofessional because you get stuck in that. I know, Mary Beth, the things that have happened to me. But I've worked really, really hard to realize it's not about me in that moment. It's about you. You are the reason, your audience is the reason that you're creating this content. So when you are putting your stuff out there, if something goes wrong, like once I was doing a webinar and my whole screen just disappeared. And then I'm going to get to the next tip. The last tip is sometimes you have to stop. And during this webinar, you know, the idea of the show must go on, people were like, she should have just pretended and kept going. No, because if she pretended and kept going, it could have been even worse. If she had tried to sing along with a track that she could not hear, or, you know, maybe she couldn't see all the words. And like, people are saying, oh, she knows this song forever. Who knows? Maybe it was like a new version of it, an edited version. And when songs repeat like that, you need to have notes sometimes. Like, I make sure I have notes. And this is why really high profile performers are crazy about the rules they put into place to make sure that they're taken care of. Because as the performer, as the person who's coming onto the camera, you are the one who is taking, you know, the praise and also getting the blame, right? When things go wrong. So it's important that you schedule before, you know what you need in there. That's like a fourth tip. I just added that one in. But the third one is the idea of the show must go on is true, but sometimes you need to stop the show in order to go on. So with this webinar that I did, everything had disappeared. And I tried to just keep going at first, but in the back of my mind, I was like, oh gosh, is this working? Is this working? Is this working? Is this working? And so, you know, I don't know if I was being as effective communicating to my audience, because in the back of my mind, I was worried that the thing wasn't working. So instead of continuing in that place of crazy, which is where it looked like Mariah Carey was, I stopped and I said, hey guys, I just have to say really quick, we're going to go on, but I just want to make sure, can you see the screen? Because everything disappeared on my side. And the woman who was, my friend Tisha, whose webinar it was, she popped on and she said, yeah, everything looks good here. And so then I pretended and I was like, okay, literally I couldn't see anything. My slides, nothing was on the screen. I couldn't see any of it. It had all like squashed down to this little weird thin screen that I couldn't open. And I pretended. I even took a screenshot of it and I was like, okay, I'm going to take a screenshot so you guys can see the craziness that I'm seeing on my side, but I'm just going to keep going. If I hadn't stopped and checked in to make sure things were okay, the show must go on, that idea would have been a mess because I would have been scattered and not addressing these issues. Does that make sense? Mary Beth says, I read that they played the wrong track. Yeah, so even like hearing the wrong track all of a sudden can be totally jarring and send you off in a bad direction. But if you've done all of this stuff to prepare ahead of time, I mean, there's obviously my company is called The Prepared Performer. So there's a million things that you can do, but these are just 3 like extra things in addition to the things that you should always do to prepare that will help you to be able to handle those moments when things go crazy wrong. Because you should just count on the fact that something's going to go wrong at some point, right? Cindy says, there's been plenty of times I've been in a show where you started the show again. Sometimes it's a smaller deal to start over. Yeah, right? And I think it's hard for people who are not experienced performers to see that that actually can happen. And I do know a lot of experienced performers who like flipped out about her way that she handled it. I mean, I heard so many things about how she like threw a diva fit, but I really think it was just because she was freaked out. Which, I mean, stuff happens, but the more that you can be in a place of really like standing in your own confidence and knowing like, okay, we're going to stop and fix this. Like, why didn't she stop and fix it? That is the one question I have more than anything. If it was really that bad, she just kept going and going and going. And I was like, oh, girlfriend. And why didn't like one of the dancers come over and just walk her off stage? Like, someone should have just stopped the situation. Kathy, hi, just joining in. Amazing. All right. So you guys, if you want to be able to be even more prepared, I don't know if you know that I have a live video checklist, but I have a really awesome live video checklist that helps you to make sure that you have things in place. And if you'd like the live video checklist, comment below and I will make sure that you get the link. I'm also going to put the link in the comments, and I guess it'll be below this video, or no, above, whatever. In the comments, or not the comments, in the description around this video. And I'm just going to kind of go over those 3 tips again once for you so that when things go crazy wrong, as they will, we just have to expect that they will. And like, you know, I love to look forward to those moments. I'm going to give you some tips so that you can handle them when they come. Some of you know my little method, which I've talked about on other videos. And girlfriend, that is all I thought about that night. I was like, oh, she needs to watch that video. I'm not going to get into the method right now, but I've got a really great method. You should look it up. #FFTT. Okay, these are the 3 tips though to help you to prepare so that when things go wrong, you better handle it. You handle it. All right. So The first one is know your brand values. If you are clear about your brand values, the way you handle a situation like this will be so much easier to connect with. It will be so much easier to handle a disaster if you are really clear about your brand values, and your audience will be ready to go with you because they have connected to you. Boom. And then, actually, Gina, I'm going to answer your question. She said, is the live video checklist, the Facebook Live content list the same thing? No. So I have a content planner, a live video content planner, but I have a checklist that I haven't spoken about in a little while that actually has everything you should do before, everything you should do during, and everything you should do after that helps you to get set up, like putting your phone on airplane mode, things like that, so that you don't get interruptions. There's a lot of little tech tips in there too. So it's a different list. It's not something you fill out like the content planner is. It's something that's already answered for you. Yeah. So Gina, I'll make sure you get the link. Okay. So you're going to be really connected to your brand values. Connect to your brand values and share them with your audience so that they can be there to support you when things go wrong, right? Number 2 is, what was number 2? Take notes is number 2. I want to make sure I do it in order. Oh, it's not, see, look at that. It's not about you. The point of being here and putting this information out is about your audience. So if something goes wrong and you get stuck in a place of how embarrassed you are about this or what this means about your appearance, your stuff, right? It's not about you. It's about your audience. And the more that you can really recognize that, even though you are the thing that you're bringing to the camera, the more that you can recognize it's about the value that you are providing, whether that's actual value, like the value-based videos that I talk about, or millions of other types of videos that I talk about in my Camera Confidence course, where you are transforming the lives of the people that you are sharing information with. It's about your audience. It is not about you. Yeah, that's number 2. And number 3 is the show must go on is not always the first thing that you should stick to. Sometimes you need to stop, right? Stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop everything. Figure out what needs to be fixed, and then get back into it and roll with it. Sometimes the idea of continuing and pretending that things are okay is not a good idea. You have to stop and fix the problem so that you actually have a show that is worthwhile, right? The show must go on, yes, but only if all the pieces are actually in place so that people don't get hurt or that it's not just a total disaster, right? And lastly, if you want the live video checklist, make sure that you comment below. And I would love to know if you guys are not in the Elevate Your Awesome group. We have this free Facebook group, but if I'd love to have you in there. So if you're not in there, say, let me in, and I'll make sure that you get into the Elevate Your Awesome free support group. But what I would really love to know is, have you ever been in a place where something has gone wrong like this on a video? And have you handled it in a way that it's actually become something that has strengthened your brand? It's actually made things better by the way that you handle the situation. Or have you been in a situation like this and handled it horribly and it's made things worse, and now you're excited to put these methods into place? I would love to know. So go over, I'm going to share this video in the Elevate Your Awesome group as soon as I turn it off. And I would love to hear your stories about the way that you have handled situations like this. And if you have any extra tips, that'd be really cool too. Yay! Awesome. Okay, I'm going to sign off because the Camera Confidence course starts today. It's been going since June, but we're starting a whole new round of it. There's still some room if you guys want to jump in. We have like 175 people in there. And I'm so excited. Today we're going to be talking about stepping into your spotlight and really getting a handle on confidence and owning your goodness when you come to the screen. Boom. I can't wait. All right. Kendra says, stop, drop, and roll. Oh, yeah. Deanna says, oh, yes. Yahoo. Yay. I'm so glad that you're here. You're welcome. Thank you for all these tips. You're welcome. I'm so excited to be in 2017. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, and I love your little emojis. Checklist, please. Yeah. Very good. We're going to go be together in a few minutes. I can't wait. Woo. Okay. Awesome. I'm going to turn this off. You guys are amazing. Get out there. Share your goodness with the world. Don't forget to spread some joy and really unlock your inner awesome. Elevate it and make the most out of your 2017. Ta-da! Okay. Here we go. Bye.